This is going to be the easiest to understand and easiest to implement guide of Claude Cowork on the internet. It's insanely powerful, but also it is so insanely easy to use when you know a few things. And I just wanted to make a stupid, simple, no fluff, tactical guide so you can start using Claude Cowork today to implement it and just literally follow what I do step by step to implement 3 use cases that are going to save you several hours of work per day. I've been using Claude for a very long time. When Claude Cowork came out, the real distinction and light bulb moment for me is that it's the difference between chatting with Claude just like this and saying, hey, do XYZ, versus actually scheduling tasks and having it do things for you completely automatically. And so today, the 3 use cases that I want to break down, and by the way, this channel is full of all tactical, no fluff guides if you want to follow along as I learn more and more about Claude Cowork, and the greater AI ecosystem. I'm going to have you in less than 10 minutes set up a simple scheduled task that every morning scans through your email inbox and calendar inbox. It highlights the most important messages. It highlights things that maybe needs clarification. It can auto start drafting responses to those messages. It can auto unsubscribe from spam or newsletters that you no longer read and prep you for your day. The second use case, I don't know if you're like me, but I certainly get overwhelmed in Slack. I've got about 50 channels at any given time that may have stuff. And I'm going to show you how, again, in minutes, we're going to set up Claude to every day scan your Slack and show you any critical messages that you missed, any things to be aware of that are progressing, and then also how to prep you for the day. Maybe, hey, the first thing you can do is follow up on these 3 Slack messages. This has been an incredible time saver and keeps me super focused. And the last one, whether you're a content creator or not, I just want to use as an example of how to simply create a task. I have every morning a Claude Cowork job that is every single morning giving me a TikTok idea. That's not just hey, this is a popular trend, this is the thing to do. I've very specifically defined my brand. I've given it examples of videos that have performed well, so it knows my voice, my tone, the way I present things. And it's saying, hey, here's an idea based on what you make content about, your style, and what I'm following on the internet. Here's an idea, here's the outline, and you're good to go. So very quickly, I want to explain the difference between normal Claude and Claude Cowork, just to give you a very simple example. If you are following along, you don't have to do it right now, but you will need Claude Desktop. So that's just claude.com/download. I'm on Mac, so I use Mac OS, but you'll need that. Again, you could get it after this video if you like, but I just want to show you the differences between the two. Within Claude Cowork, I just want to highlight the most important things, which are scheduled tasks, connectors, skills, and then I want to make sure you're aware of the ideas tab, because that has a lot of great ideas that can help you get going instead of making it all up on your own. And like I mentioned, by the end of this video, we're going to have these 3 use cases I mentioned up and running. And so with that, let's start with the difference between what I would call normal Claude, or if you're using ChatGPT or Gemini, this is your, what I would call the normal experience. You come in and you say, hey, create me a YouTube video idea for a Claude Cowork tutorial, right? And we don't need to sit here and watch this output, but this is the normal experience you're used to, coming in and asking. And so as I switch to Claude Desktop, you see here we've got the chat, which is that normal experience, and you can have that downloaded on your desktop if you want. But the big unlock, if you're following my mouse up here, is this Cowork tab that we're going to jump into. We are now in this Cowork tab, and it's actually in one of my scheduled jobs that I run every single morning. And what you're looking at is actually my daily briefing report that scans through my entire inbox, in my case, 201 unread messages. I get a lot of spam. I get a lot of people trying to sell me stuff. And it's saying, hey, here's the high value task that you need to do today. And by the way, I just had it rerun this and anonymize the information, so there's no personal information here. So that's why it kind of looks generic. But right above this is my actual inbox with the extreme details of my business. So hey, there's one from your business bank. You received a payment. You did have a prospect requesting a call, so you should follow up on that. Payment processing verification code, and I've got an upcoming car rental reservation. Here's my 2 important meetings for the day. And oh, by the way, this one, I wasn't exactly sure. It looks like you have a collaboration proposal and you should probably follow up on that. Here's your spam, etc., etc. You get the point. But the beauty of this, and what I want to drill home as we look at scheduled tasks here, is that these are scheduled and running without me going into Claude and saying, hey, read my inbox and create a report. I've actually defined a repeatable daily task that I want this thing to do, and it does it for me automatically, which is the huge unlock. And like I said, for 20 bucks a month, it is the easiest by far to do this versus an N8N workflow, any other Zapier or complex, drag and drop, connecting API keys. This is the most seamless experience I've seen. So like I mentioned, right now we're in the scheduled tasks. We're going to look at these, and just to really get your wheels spinning in terms of what is possible, we'll hop into this customize tab real quick to call out connectors. Connectors, like you might imagine, are connecting to my Gmail, my Google Calendar, my Google Drive. If I want to add new ones, there are tons of different connectors here of all of the very popular tools, anything from Figma, Notion, HubSpot. There's also very common tools like call recorders like Granola, N8N. So whatever you're comfortable giving it access to, you don't have to connect API keys. These are very, very easy things to set up. As you can see, I have my Gmail and my calendar. If you just hit the little plus icon, it'll walk you through exactly how to do that, and that connects your different apps, which really then allow you to do some of the scheduled tasks that I mentioned, like scanning my inbox every single day. Or I've got it connected to Slack, and you can see in here I've got a detailed prompt of what I want it to do in Slack every single day. And so for this exercise, you're going to want to set up the connectors of Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive, and Slack. And again, it's really easy when you're in this customize tab, connectors button, and then you go to browse connectors. Gmail and Google Calendar are the first ones here. You can easily also search for Slack, follow the prompts, it's going to have you connect those, and you're ready to rock and roll and create these scheduled tasks. So I'll show you personally how I create a scheduled task. Let's just say whatever your name is. Let's say John Smith Daily Email Report. And you can put a space in here if you want. It'll automatically add a dash on the name. And so just give it a description. This doesn't actually tell it what to do, but just daily email and calendar report. And so the big thing here that we want to do is create a good and detailed prompt, and actually a completely free website that I love that I have no affiliation with is promptcowboy.ai. What this will do, I'm going to come in here and create an agent prompt. So this is just saying typically an agent is responsible for doing repeatable tasks. If this is all new to you, by the way, just literally follow what I'm doing. There's it's really straightforward. You can say, hey, I need you to read my entire email inbox and calendar every day and create a detailed report that prepares me for my most important meetings and also highlights urgent emails, emails that need review, as well as emails that are spam and you recommend I unsubscribe from. Now what Prompt Cowboy does is it takes this prompt and makes it extremely detailed. And this may seem trivial. What I just wrote there is a pretty good starting point, but this honestly has maximized my results by doing a very detailed structure and really enhancing everything I'm asking it for. So if you followed along with me, if you want to try this, feel free to hop over to Prompt Cowboy and create one and pause. For the sake of this example, I'm just going to copy this prompt and take it over to Claude, but you can obviously, copy this, change a few things. But jumping back into Claude where we're creating this John Smith daily email report, I'm literally just going to take this prompt and copy it in here. And you can see I've got this detailed prompt ready to go. Lastly, I'm going to set the frequency to daily. And in my case, I usually get my day going around 6 a.m. or so. So I like to run this at 6 a.m. It's ready to go. I open my laptop and it's right there. So we'll save that. And literally, we're done. Because we've connected our email inbox, because we've connected our calendar, this is already good to go. And if you want to even test it, by the way, you can actually just click run now. You don't have to wait until tomorrow at 6 a.m. You can see if the result actually works. And so again, if you're with me to this point, you can test this. If you also want to revisit this video, make sure to follow the channel just to stay up to date, not only on this, but future use cases I come out with and beyond. And so I'm going to delete this because I already have my own, but creating a repeatable schedule job is truly that simple. And now I'm going to walk you through the Slack briefing that I also mentioned as well. So same exact process here. I'm going to go to new task and call it Eric Daily Slack Report. Summarize my entire Slack history for the last 24 hours. And I'm going to do the same exact thing, guys. I'm going to jump over to Prompt Cowboy. I'm going to do a new prompt and I'm going to go to agent. And I'm going to say, read my entire Slack inbox and create a detailed daily report that ensures I've followed up on any critical messages, and I'm also prepared for the day with any tasks I need to accomplish per the messages on Slack. I'm going to have this really enhance my prompt. I'm going to bring this over to Claude Cowork in the scheduled job that I'm setting up. Again, if you want to create your own, feel free to pause. I'm just, for the sake of this example, copy pasting it, but review it. If you want to add any clauses, feel free. But I come in here, I drop this prompt in, it's all good to go. I'm going to make sure this is a daily task, and I'm going to have it also run at 6 a.m. I'm going to save it. And guys, I'm not kidding. We're literally done. You can click into this scheduled task that you just created. You can run now to ensure that it actually works. I'm not going to run it because it has my personal information in it, but your detailed instructions are here, and this is now queued up to run every single day at 6 a.m. Now for this last example, instead of building it, because I've showed you how to build those 2 use cases right out of the box ready to go, I actually want to show you a real result of my daily TikTok for Higher Levels. That's my main company, by the way, higherlevels.com. This YouTube channel, by the way, is where I break down how I use AI on the back end to basically do everything for my online business. But this actually comes up with an on-brand, on-theme TikTok video idea, and I'll literally just hit run now to give you a sense for how this works. And while it's running, by the way, my Higher Levels channel is specifically focused on tech sales and tech sales careers. So it could be anything from interview advice, sales advice, negotiation, you name it. But this is running right now, so I'll go ahead and jump into it. I've not only given it a prompt cowboy detailed instruction, but also in creating this, once I created it, I said, hey, let me give you 2 video transcripts of my best performing videos, sorry for the typos, videos all time. And so when I actually say that, it's like, okay, give me the title, give me the transcript. And I actually went ahead and I gave it the title and the transcript of 2 of my best performing videos that have millions of views. And so not only was it instructed to scan the internet for popular trends in tech sales, in cold calling, you name it, but it also has a reference file, and you can see it reading this skill.md. It is actually reading the skill that it built around my TikTok voice and brand, and we're going to show you skills as a last point here. But it's not only just saying, hey, this is popular and trendy. It's like, no, here's an actual idea based on everything I know about you and the space of tech sales. In my case, by the way, I actually have it send it to my personal Slack so I can access it on the go, because this is Claude Desktop, but also it should be spitting out a message here very shortly. And just for your reference, I'll actually hop into Slack just to show you this. It also shows this in Claude Desktop, but this is just some of the power it can do. Again, if I don't have access to my desktop, but I'm on my phone, which has Slack, I can go into Slack on my phone. I've got the idea right there, and then I can just hit record on TikTok. So that's why I send it to my Slack. But this is one example of many. If you're not familiar with sales, it's all good, but it talks about how to kind of leverage your quota to where if you're hitting 100% every month, if you're in sales, you know this, but if you hit 100%, great job. Like next year, your quota goes up. So it's a video around how to manage that. It gives me 6 or so high-level talking points because I film a lot of content. So I'm at the point where I don't script every word out. I just need the major points. But again, I just want to emphasize this is done for me automatically. I could be in Europe. I could forget my laptop and be like, oh crap, I don't even have my laptop for this trip. Good thing is I have my phone, I've got my Slack channel, and I've got my daily TikTok idea showing up every single day at 6 a.m. And if you've made it with me this far, guys, not only are you ready to rock, I want to show you 2 more quick things as a quick outro. And obviously I'm going to be making tons of more videos on great use cases and ideas. And I also have a free newsletter in the description where I write about these and give deeper dive tutorials. The last 2 things I wanted to highlight is skills, which is in this customize tab, and ideas. And we'll hit these very quickly, but a skill is not required for you to make. You do not need to create skills, but as one example of many, I will create a dedicated skill and instruction around how I want a transcript created into a blog post. So I have a lot of YouTube videos. I take a 20-minute video transcript, and I have a very specific way that I want a blog post structured. So you can see that here on the right side. And so whether I'm using this in a scheduled task, or maybe I'm even just starting a new chat, when I save this skill and say, hey, anytime I give you a transcript, write a blog post in this way, I don't have to specify that. Let's just go back for the sake of example. Like if I'm in a simple chat here where I say, hey, take this transcript and make it a blog post. Because I've already uploaded this skill, it no longer needs further instruction. I don't have to say, hey, this blog post in this super long form and give it a detailed prompt. That skill, like I mentioned, which is in this customize tab and skill, has already been created in my account. So it references that transcript to blog post automatically. It senses that and then creates a blog post in the exact format that I want. I'm going to do future videos on deep dives on skills, so that's just a footnote here. You do not need it for the scheduled tasks that we created. But the last thing I want to mention, guys, just to get you going as well, hopefully first and foremost, this video gave you a great idea, but also there are tons of pre-built workflows. The daily briefing, I created my own, but I got that inspiration from seeing it here. I didn't like what it gave me out of the box with this one, so I created my own specific format. But just calling out whether it's different plugins that you have, there's things that Claude has provided with plugins. So they have people that, discover brand materials, prepare for a sales call, research competitors. They have some that are about creating, so that's a presentation, building a web app, turning documents into a presentation, analyzing, organizing, and communicating as well. My point being here, I'll make a follow-up video if you'd like. Obviously, like, subscribe, follow along. But if you're stuck, you don't really know where to go, and if you followed this video and you've already connected some of your critical systems here, you can very much leverage these ideas to get really great, scheduled, repeatable, automatic tasks out of the gate. So this was really the guide that I wanted to see on the internet because I was really tired of the fancy editing. A lot of the fluff of Claude Cowork is changing the game. Like, hopefully this tactical guide not only gives you a sense for how to use this immediately right away today to get value, but also gives you a sense of what I do here on this channel and what I will do in the future as I learn more and more of these use cases. So with that, I hope you got a lot out of it. If you have any questions, I monitor the comments myself. Feel free to fire away. There's a newsletter in the description if you want to follow for deeper dive guides, and obviously like, subscribe for future video updates. Hope you got a lot out of it, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.